Hey, Traffic Think Tank. Good news. I finally finished wrapping up the polish on the opportunity spreadsheet. So what we've gone ahead and done is shot a quick video taking you guys through exactly how to use the template itself. It will allow you to pull all the keyword data out of 5 websites. It specifically uses Ahrefs datasets. So you'll be using the export functionality for the first 1,000 rows from their keyword tool. And let's take it away. Here's a quick look at what this thing looks like with data populated in it. So it's sort of a whole mess. You can see in here, here's all the different queries that are setting all the different parameters. But the sheet itself should look a lot like it does in the first versions of the cohort keyword research videos. The biggest difference here is all these queries are now being executed at each individual line item level, and they are populating into this actual keyword environment. So what that means is here, we're going to go look at the cleaned up version. So here's the template that you guys will be getting access to as part of this video. And this is the one that I'm actually going to run through as an example to show you. So there's some data in here. This is just based on the way some of the formulas are written. So don't really worry about these. It's not real data. That's just how that's being populated based on some of the sum formulas that are in here. But the way this is going to work is we are actually going to, I'm going to take you through the exact process. It uses Ahrefs exclusively right now. You can use use sort of whatever you want to get the data. So the specific data that you need to pull in here to use this template is going to be need to be formatted like this. So keyword, position, volume, the URL that's ranking for this, in this position for this keyword, a difficulty score, traffic, and CPC. So again, there's a couple different ways you can get obviously the difficulty score and potentially estimated traffic, but Ahrefs just makes this a whole hell of a lot easier. So with that said, I want to take you guys through how we're actually going to populate these 5. We're going to pull cohorts from a cohort population of just 5 sites, and I'll take you all the way through this. So I had asked some of you guys this morning in Traffic Think Tank, what vertical. I got an almost immediate response for personal finance or finance in general. So why the hell not? Let's do that. So I'm going to use the Simple Dollar as my seed site. And I'm going to, because it's big and ranks for a whole bunch of stuff, I'm actually not going to pull the keywords from the Simple Dollar, but I'm going to use this as my source domain to identify cohorts of the Simple Dollar based on keyword data. So we're going to run a search here on the Simple Dollar, and then where we're going to go from here is actually going to go into competing domains. And then once this populates, it's working. You can see it working up here. We're going to sort these. Oh, it's stuck, which is cool. Sort them by most common keywords in terms of percentage. This is one of my favorite things. I'm going to grab, I already grabbed just sort of to prep for this, money under 30. So here's the money under 30. I just did an export of their top 1,000 terms. And I already removed a bunch of the additional stuff, but so you guys can see it. So I also then, what I did is I ran down this list and I picked anything I could. I was trying to find stuff under 300,000 total unique terms, except I did include Value Penguin, just because I think it's a good example. I run into them in a lot of SERPs in finance, so I sort of broke my light or loose methodology in that respect. So I grabbed, so what we did here is, so I've got Magnify Money, Value Penguin, GoodFinancialSense.com, and Credit Donkey. So what I'm going to do for each of these is I'm going to export the first 1,000 rows specifically for Microsoft. So we're going to start that export there. Going to start this export. Oops. Apparently going a little too fast. There we go. Going to start that export. And that one kicks off. Cool. Going to do the same. Wait our few seconds here. Grab that one. And gonna come here, gonna export again. And export, cool. Cool, all right, so all of those have kicked off. I'm gonna close these tabs, make this a little bit easier. Looks like they've all finished. So going into Drive, I'm going to make this a little bit easier. I'm going to grab these guys, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I already did money under 30, it's right here. And I'm gonna open each of these, let these all download. which hopefully starts happening a little faster. Cool. So we've got good financial sense. I'll move you over to try to keep this clean. Credit donkey, same deal, move you over. Value penguin and magnify money. So here, I'm just going to, I'm actually still working through loading these all up. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so this one I've already, again, it's already cleaned up. Keyword position volume, URL, difficulty, traffic, CPC. This one, we need to get rid of this column. Come on, we want to get rid of position history and the date. We want to get rid of last update and page URL inside. So again, keyword position volume, URL difficulty, traffic, CPC. Keyword position volume, URL difficulty, traffic, CPC. Cool. Because I am OCD, I'm going to change each of these, not for any reason other than, I don't know, it bothers me. We're going to again get rid of this column. Get rid of these guys. I'm going to get rid of these two. Go here, same deal. I'm OCD. We're going to get rid of you. We're going to get rid of you. We're going to get rid of you. And then we just got one more. And get rid of you. Peace. And get the fuck out of here. All right. So here we've got our 5 sites. Here is our template. What we're going to want to do here is go into each one of these. So we're already in website 1. Don't change the names of any of these unless you feel like going back through and rewriting the scripts, which you can if you want, but for the purposes of this, I just wouldn't. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in here and we're going to grab these guys. You can see here. Don't get the header row, which is important. But we're going to copy you, and you're going to be our website number 1. And then we're going to go into website 2. And we're going to do the same. Website 2, paste you in. All right. Money under 30, I'm going to close you. Good financial sense, I'm going to close you just because we already did you. I go into website 3. Same deal, going to grab you. And go the opposite direction, make sure we got all the stuff we did. Go in here, website 3, paste you in. All right, website 4, close credit donkey, go into value penguin. Grab you. All right, I go into website 5, grab you. So where this then is a little annoying, and I apologize, but it's the nature of the beast, is we need to make sure that our data is all clean. So we can't have any, we cannot have any blank cells. So what we're gonna do is, if I can get this to stop being an asshole, sort both directions here, make sure there's no blanks. Make sure there's no blanks here. No blanks. And it looks like they're going to have some blanks for CPC. So we need to go clear these guys out. What we even need to do here, simple enough, is just add a piece of data in here so it's not blank. All right, so website 1's clean. Website 2. You can actually just do this. It's probably be much easier, wouldn't it? Just filter by blanks. Gonna put $0 in. And instead of me dragging this all the way through again, we'll just do this, much easier. Website 3, same deal. Clear, just show me the blanks, $0. Important to make sure that we then go back through and show all these guys so we don't have remnant filters screwing up our data. God damn, that's annoying, isn't it? All right, so we got all you, so there's 2, 3, gotta do it for 4. Whoops, clear blanks. All right, $0. Shift, paste. Them all back. Website 5. Clear blanks. Aren't you guys so happy I'm doing this all live over my shoulder like this? I bet you are. All right. Cool. So now we can go back to our dashboard. Look at all this awesome data we have here. It is important to reference that I did actually put the instructions in. So here are the actual instructions here. Just trying to make things a little bit easier. But here's all our data. So in summary, we can see that for all five websites for the entire data set for these 5,000 terms, the average total term count, total monthly search volume for the least competitive terms is 20 million a month. Average difficulty of those terms is, for the least competitive, is 10.6, which is nice. Average CPC, which is interesting, on terms of the average across all the least expensive, is $2.31, which is nice. The least competitive terms have an average monthly search volume just under 75,000. So what this tool does that makes this relatively awesome is if you want to view each of these summaries, if you want to see all the keywords that are going into each of these, now you can use these buttons here. So like I just hit this view button. It's running the script, as you can see up here. Just going to give it a minute. It does take, because we're doing all the processing in Google Sheets, it definitely takes a little bit of time. Then this is also going to happen to you guys. I apologize in advance. It's definitely annoying, but we had to build this keyword environment tools sort of extension to be able to do this, which I realize is annoying. So you have to potentially allow this for every time you want to run these scripts. So it finished the script. So now what that means is we can go view these 2,764 terms that represent these average data sets in the keyword environment tab. This is super important. So the keyword environment tab is where all of the exporting is going to happen across the board. And it's going to be for the entire data set. So you guys can see here as I'm going through these, like the domains or the URLs are changing. It does them in order, but it's pulling data based on, again, those specific cohort heuristics across the entire population of terms. Where this really becomes wildly useful is these individual opportunity lists. So what this does is the script here will actually pull, and it runs the cohort heuristics for making sure that, these terms, so these 21 terms for website 1, or from website 1 data set, these 20 terms, 34, 99, 45, are all under the total average difficulty. So from competition, what we're saying here is the total average difficulty across the entire data set here is average difficulty is 24.6. So each of these terms is under that difficulty. They're under the average total. Total would actually be down the aggregate. So it aggregates across each of these. So under the total average difficulty, under the total average CPC, and the volume is above the total average. So for website number 1, let's look at what this keyword list actually looks like. It didn't have me reauthorize the script, which is really cool. So now we should be going in here, we should be seeing 21 terms specifically from money under 30. So here are the keywords that it's identifying. And you can see that the difficulty here that it's pulling from Ahrefs is somewhat helpful. This, I'm guessing because that's localized, that's actually, I mean, there's no way that's a 0 difficulty score, but some of these are really interesting, right? So like if we actually want to sort this now by difficulty, I don't know why we're getting all these blanks. Come on, Google Sheets. Oh, that's super annoying. So I'm just going to back up and get rid of some of the sorting. There we go. So here's a good one. Cost to build a house is a really interesting keyword. 15,000 searches per month. These guys are in position 14. And it doesn't even look like they're actually optimizing for that term. It looks like they're focusing on this versus term, cheaper to buy versus build by. So that's a super low difficulty term. They're getting a little bit of traffic from. Other good ones on here. HSBC credit card is interesting. There's probably some review opportunities there in the personal finance space. So that's, again, these are just the best opportunities from this first website. So if we want to look at website 4, which is Value Penguin, let's go see what the best opportunities look like. So there should be 99 of them. So again, we're going to run this script. We're going to go to the keyword environment. Here's all of the 99 opportunities I pulled out from Value Penguin. A lot of brand names in here, which is really interesting. Merrick Bank is interesting. I don't know, they have a credit card. Elephant Insurance, Direct General. That's very interesting. There's a lot of search volume for that. Interesting, these guys are ranking in position 2. Difficulty came in real low. TJ Maxx credit card. So there's a lot of affiliate opportunities here, it looks like. Chase Quick Pay, huge search volume, obviously very branded, but these guys are in position 6. So they're pulling in about 3,300 visits a month from organic in position 6. Super low difficulty here as well. Uber credit card. Again, remember the idea of this process is to surface surface opportunities that you just otherwise wouldn't have found because you may not have thought to have gone looking for any of these things. So by pooling data from all these different sites, and then finding the cohorts between them based on competition, based on expense, the cost per click, and then based on volume. I mean, you can drill into each one of these if you guys want to view. So for each of these individual cohort populations, you can use these view buttons to execute and pull these specific lists for each individual website or at the aggregate level, which would be up here. So these are the total aggregates, and then here's your best opportunity scoring. So with all that said, I hope you guys find this useful. You guys dig up some good stuff and report back in Slack, what you guys find going through this process.